Carbs will make you fat. Fat is very bad for you, and if you eat late at night, you're definitely going to gain weight. Are some of the typical nutrition myths out there. So in today's video, I want to talk about 5 nutrition tips that I hopefully can debunk, give you a little bit more information as to why they might be floating around, and hopefully that can clarify a few things and make you feel a little bit more comfortable incorporating these foods or these nutritional recommendations into your diet. Before we jump into the video, just a quick introduction. My name is Melissa Nall. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm part of the Body 20 Nutrition Doctor team. Welcome if you're new here. We do these videos every 2 weeks, so please do follow along, and you are welcome to send us any questions via WhatsApp or email. All right, so the very first one is carbs make you fat. So carbohydrates have gotten quite a bad reputation for quite a long time as something that is going to make you fat. And the main reason for that is when we look at the physiology, when you eat carbohydrates, think bread, rice, pasta, grains, fruits, starchy vegetables like potato, sweet potato, those all form part of the carbohydrate group. When you eat any of these foods, it gets metabolized into glucose or broken down into glucose, and then it's used up in the body, and then what isn't used up is then stored as glycogen in the muscle as well as the liver. Now, when it gets stored in the liver or in the muscle, it actually draws in 3 grams of water for every gram of glucose. So there we get the answer to why does the scale then show I gained fat overnight when I had a big bowl of pasta last night. So that is exactly what happens. When you eat a big portion of carbohydrates, you will definitely store some of it as glycogen, which is necessary for life, but then you're also going to store some water, and that might increase your weight on the scale. So don't think that you gained fat overnight. The chances of that happening is really slim. And to be quite honest, water is necessary for life. Majority of our body is made up of water, so that's why the body does this. So it's completely natural, and your weight will, it will settle down. So it will fluctuate with hormones, with the amount of carbohydrates you eat, and with other factors as well. So don't weigh yourself every single day and think that you've gained weight overnight. So remember, carbohydrates are really important because they provide the body with the fuel source that we require. It also gives fiber. It maintains the blood sugar levels. It's important for concentration. And if you are someone that exercises, we do need carbohydrates to get us through those hard sessions. The next one is fat is really bad for you, or fat is unhealthy. Now we get different types of fats, and this is mainly where you see that fat is getting a bad reputation is from the saturated fat. So fat that we get from animal sources, but more so the trans fats that we get from our highly processed products. So trans fats are definitely bad for your health and should be limited or avoided as far as possible. And then saturated fat that we get from animal sources should be limited, and then we can still incorporate healthy fats from our plant sources like avo, nuts and seeds, olive oil and so forth into our diet, because it's actually really important. They provide a lot of nutrition. A lot of our body's functions rely on these healthy fats, so it's important to still incorporate fat into your diet. It's really just important to monitor the portion sizes, because fat is definitely more caloric dense. In other words, it has more calories per gram than compared to, for example, carbohydrates or protein. So if you are having big handfuls of nuts, or you are drenching your salad in olive oil, you might be racking up your calories, which makes it more difficult for you to lose fat if that is your goal. The next one is eating late at night will definitely make you gain weight. So that is something that we see as a myth that has gone viral, and that is definitely not the case. So the timing of your food doesn't really matter that much. It really mostly comes down to the overall amount of food that you consume, the calories that you consume in general. So it's not really to say that if you eat late at night, you're definitely going to store that. However, it isn't recommended to eat too late at night because it might cause some indigestion. It might disturb your sleep and those types of things. So eating a little bit earlier, giving your body time to, digest that food, get it out of the stomach, will also definitely assist in better sleep and better sleep hygiene in general. But generally the timing of your meals won't make that big of a difference. It's more to do with the amount and the quality of your diet. On that point, so another myth is that you need to lose weight by just monitoring your calories. Calories in versus calories out equals your fat loss. So if you are if you are burning more calories than what you're consuming, you will lose fat. And even though that is a very strong point, and it is definitely true, it also comes down to the quality of your diet. So it's not just quantity. Quality is also really important. So because we do see that the types of foods we incorporate in our diet has an impact on our hormonal fluctuations, like for example insulin and so forth, And we know that insulin is a fat storing hormone. So if we are racking up the carbohydrate, high GI carbohydrates like sugar and processed foods and refined carbohydrates, it's going to push up our insulin levels throughout the day, and that will make it a lot harder for the body to burn fat and a lot easier for the body to store fat. So our quality of diet is also really important, but definitely the quantity also makes a difference. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality as well. And lastly, frozen fruits and vegetables are not nutritious. So that is a myth that we can debunk definitely, because frozen fruits and vegetables might sometimes be a bit more nutritious than fresh ones, because when we see with the processing or the picking and freezing of these fruits and vegetables, they get picked and then frozen or blast frozen and then kept frozen almost directly. So they actually keep their nutritional value a lot better compared to fruits or vegetables that are picked and then have to get transported from wherever. So they do then tend to lose a bit of their nutritional value. So it's not to say that fresh fruits and vegetables don't have any nutritional value, but frozen veggies and fruits actually have quite a lot of nutritional value. And if it is something that makes your life a bit easier to incorporate these frozen fruits and vegetables in your diet, maybe for budget or for convenience or whatever it might be, I'd really do urge you to incorporate it. So that's it from me for today. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it debunked a few of the myths. You can let us know if you have any myths that you want us to debunk, and then I'll see you in the next one.